I cannot believe how bad they've been and how stubborn he has been as a manager. Like, I get it. At Sporting, he done really well. He played a system. He had the players that worked. But, you come into Man United, you come into the Premier League, it is a completely different ball game. And I just think he's out of his depth. He is out of his depth. It was too big of a step for him. It's too big of a job. And he's crumbled. And, when I watch him, the formation, I just don't get it. He hasn't got it for the players, the midfield. He's got no legs. You're trying to play Bruno in there, it don't work. But just the way he is as a manager as well is so emotional. He can't watch penalties. He sits in the dugout, he hides. He stands on the side of the pitch, and I'm not convinced that he really knows what he's doing. It's been such a poor appointment for Man United. And the quicker they get rid of him, the quicker they're going to get better. Because I don't actually believe that Man United are that bad. I think they've got some good players. But the formation they're playing does not suit any of the players that want to play in that formation.
Our poll today on the Sky Sports.
Point of Ruben Amorim's year in charge at Manchester United. So has he improved them, and where do they go from here? Marks out of 10 then for that man's first year in charge.
I don't think that they have improved. I'm sorry.
At all?
Yeah, where? Where have they improved? They have not scored more goals. They have not had less goals against. They have not won any trophies. Yes, they have been in a final in Europe, but lost against a poor side.
You told us you love Tottenham earlier.
I love Tottenham. Yeah, I love Tottenham, but they were a poor side last year. So he's got a lot of work to do, a lot of work. I don't think that they are creative enough, not like they used to be.
Apart from that, he's done fine.
Yeah.
You've done probably, Dave, a lot of numbers pieces, stats, features at that screen about Manchester United. Would the numbers overall say that he has improved things?
Marginally. I think they have improved slightly going forward in attack, but they've spent over £100 million in the summer, so you kind of expect that. That's fine.
He's on the bench.
Well, one of them is, yeah. Defensively, I think there's still improvement there, and I think that's shown in a number of matches this season where they've struggled to keep the ball out of their own net, and it's been fairly easy for teams to play through them. I think that's a problem. But I'm reasonably optimistic about Manchester United this season. That's not me saying top 4, top 8, and I think top 8 is an amazing achievement from where United were last season if they get top 8 this season.
You're looking startled, Jimmy.
Don't get me wrong, it's not good enough for the history of Manchester United, but from where they were and the job, I think that is about
also for what they have spent. You think that is fine, that is okay?
Well, that from what they spent, yeah, I think it's all right. All right. They should have brought a central midfielder, and maybe a centre back, maybe another wing back, but they haven't got all that money, have they?
Ruben Amorim feels like the first manager who I've seen who sticks with a system rather than an idea of how to play. So, I use you, Roberto, as a reference. I always know how your teams will play with the ball. That's your idea. The formation might change, but Ruben Amorim, it's like, I've said this before, the formation's his baby. And to not change it or alter it in situations like that, I don't understand how you can stick with something so steadfastly in a situation like that when it's basically, one guy up front who's not really up front. You don't need 3 players there. If you're going to keep with your system, maybe put midfield players there. We see other managers do that. Maybe you bring a centre-back off and put a midfield player there because you're going to have so much more of the ball, so much more of possession. So I actually think it's not the losing the 3 points tonight. They can make that up through the season. I think it's one of those moments where I think a lot of people will really question the manager on the back of that defeat. They'll look at the players, and we know the players should do better, but the manager will take a lot of the blame for tonight.
United fans, this breaking news is for you.
Manchester United has been thrown into turmoil following the shocking sacking of manager Ruben Amorim after a 0-1 defeat to a 10-man Everton side at Old Trafford. What should have been a routine home victory instead became a humiliating defeat, exposing a team lacking direction, urgency, and leadership. The loss came after weeks of mounting pressure on Amorim, whose appointment was initially met with optimism and high expectations. Fans hoped he would bring consistency, identity, and a renewed sense of purpose to a club desperate to reclaim its place at the top of English football. However, the season has been defined by inconsistency, poor performances, and tactical confusion. The match against a weakened Everton team proved to be the final straw for the United board. Supporters inside Old Trafford erupted in frustration as yet another disappointing performance unfolded. The defeat symbolized the struggles that have haunted the club all season and highlighted a worrying lack of leadership on and off the pitch. Amorim's tenure, while ambitious in its vision, ultimately failed to deliver results. Despite a promising start in certain fixtures, the team never established a clear identity, and confidence has steadily eroded. The humiliation of losing to a 10-man Everton side magnified the perception that United are in a crisis. Now, the club faces a critical juncture. The search for a new manager has begun, with the aim of restoring belief, stability, and pride among players and fans alike. The upcoming appointments and strategic decisions will be closely scrutinized, as the Red Devils attempt to halt a season that has already fallen far below expectations. Manchester United's next steps will not only shape the remainder of this campaign but could define the trajectory of the club for years to come. Fans are demanding bold changes, and the pressure is now squarely on the shoulders of the board to deliver a solution that can bring Old Trafford back to its former glory.